What's going on?
Again.
Oh, we're training.
No, power in firebending comes from the breath, not the muscles. You're impatient. You have yet to master your basics. Drill it again.
You will teach me the advanced set.
Listen to this dude.
Very well. But first, I must finish my roast duck.
I love it.
For without courage, how can we call ourselves men?
Children.
I gotta pee.
Yes, you do.
Listen, until your fathers return from the war, they're counting on you to be the men of this tribe.
But I really gotta go.
Okay, who else has to go?
All of them. I knew it. Look at Appa. Made a slide out of his tail. I like it.
Stop it right now!
Penguin!
What is up with him and penguins?
I'm an airbender, not a waterbender.
You're looking at the only waterbender in the whole South Pole.
What about the North Pole? There's another water tribe up there, right?
It's on the other side of the world.
Appa and I can personally fly you to the North Pole. Katara, we're gonna find you a master.
I've never left home before.
We'll do it.
You think about it. But in the meantime, can you teach me to catch one of these penguins?
They eat him alive, and that's how the episode ends. He wasn't really the airbender. He was penguin food. Fire ship!
Fire Navy ship. And a very bad memory for my people.
How'd it get there?
Hey, stop!
It's like
We're
the
not
Black
allowed to go
Rock.
near it. The ship could be booby-trapped.
If you want to be a bender, you have to let go of fear.
It reminds me of Lost, the Black Rock, how it was in the middle of the woods. And it didn't explain it. Why is this in the middle of nowhere? Accidentally trip an alarm or a beacon that will alert Team Rufio and Mr. Dumpling.
This ship has haunted my tribe since Gran was a little girl. It was part of the Fire Nation's first attacks. How long were you in that iceberg?
I don't know, a few days maybe?
I think it was more like 100 years.
That's what I think.
What?
I thought that was
That's
confirmed.
impossible. Do I look like a 112-year-old man to you?
You don't know about it because somehow you were in there that whole time.
I kind of assumed that when Rufio said it.
100 years. I can't believe it.
I'm sorry, Aang. Come on, let's get out of here.
How old is she? Because she looks at least 16. I knew it. It's booby trapped.
Booby traps.
I freaking knew it. I'm like, they're going to trip a wire. And now is it going to alert the Fire Nation? And there's the freaking... Did I think it would really happen? No. But I said they're going to trip a wire and send up something for the Fire Nation. Now Rufio, right there, is probably looking at it.
Quite agile for his old age. Wake my uncle! I found the Avatar, as well as his hiding place.
Great, they're going to destroy her town. Commercial. Great stuff, guys. I am shocked that I knew some of the voices, because this came out so long ago, it's animated, and I thought it was foreign. I didn't realize it was Nickelodeon. As soon as I saw Nickelodeon, I'm like, that's right. I had this talk with someone years ago, and they were like, yeah, just so you know, Avatar: The Last Airbender isn't from like another country. It's an American cartoon that looks like a Japanese animation or something like that. But I went into this today remembering not that. What are the odds you would know the voice of a dubbed character that was in another country? It's very, very rare, let alone, I don't know how old the show is. It's got to be good 15 years old, maybe longer. I don't want to go much longer than 15 years, but I remember people talking about this for a very long time. I remember seeing Appa. Appa looks amazing. As soon as I saw it, I started like kind of like going through my memory, and I do remember at conventions seeing like stuffed animals. I don't think I've ever seen like anyone cosplay as Appa. He's huge. But I've went to conventions where people cosplayed Falcor, and Falcor is enormous too. That's what he reminds me of. It reminds me of a jacked Falcor, or like a fat Falcor, which would also explain why he could float on freezing cold water. He's got so much insulation, like a tauntaun. Like he's probably just built for cold weather, and he could also fly. I mean, you'll hit cold temperatures in the air if you go fast and stuff too. But Appa is so cool. But going back to the voices, I cannot believe that Rufio, what is his name? I'm brain farting on the name. I know I'm going to think of it as soon as I turn it off. Blood and Bone and like all this stuff I watch. Hook, obviously, he's Rufio. The other guy is the old Asian guy that plays the old Asian guy in like everything back in like the 90s. What I know him best from is something that a lot of you might have never seen or heard of, but there was a movie in the 90s that I watched all the time. I took taekwondo and judo and all these things, so I was into like martial arts stuff. But as a kid, I didn't watch violent martial arts. I watched kid martial arts stuff. So they had a Chuck Norris movie with the blonde-haired kid from Ladybugs. I'm brain farting on his name too. Just whatever. I'll think about it later. But he ended up dying of like a drug overdose or something. I think shortly, a few years after he in his 20s, he died from drugs probably. But he was in Ladybugs, the soccer movie with Rodney Dangerfield. He was in Sidekicks with Chuck Norris, and the guy who's doing the voice of the uncle for the Fire Nation was the Asian guy who owned the restaurant that helped train him, because Chuck Norris wasn't really there. Spoiler alert. But in that, he called, oh my God, Jonathan Brandis. It's unraveling in my head as I'm talking. Jonathan Brandis played the kid, and he was taught by the Asian guy, and the Asian guy called him Mr. Dumpling because he was just all lazy and lethargic. And he's like, Mr. Dumpling smacks fists with his face and this and that. Like, he was mocking him that instead of actually defending himself with his fists, he just absorbs the impacts like a giant fat dumpling man. And he called him Mr. Dumpling. That's why I kept saying it. I don't know, maybe none of you even heard of this before, but as a child, I watched this movie a lot, and it wasn't the greatest movie, but Winnie Cooper from the Wonder Years was his girlfriend. But back to the movie, I'm talking way too long. It is the first episode, so I got to talk a lot. But we got elements, we got the Airbender. He's 112 years old. I didn't think that was a big surprise when they revealed it. Maybe it wasn't supposed to be, and I just thought I was wrong. But as soon as they showed that he sealed himself in there and then said, we haven't seen an airbender in 100 years, Rufio dude believes that this guy's been out there training for 100 years, but he was trapped, so he knows nothing. He's a 12-year-old kid, and he's like, uncle, you got to do this and this and this. The uncle seems like a legit dude. Are they still evil, though? Is the Fire Nation getting a bad rap because Rufio is an evil dude and just aggressive and crazy? Or was his whole family like that? Because it seems like the uncle is a straight shooter, and I don't know, he kind of seems like a good dude. But I mean, you could be a good dude and still be a bad guy. It's possible. So I'm just going to jump right into the next one. Very curious. They have now found the Avatar because they tripped the wire that sent up the thing inside the fire ship that was a curse to her people. And now these fire people are going to go probably blow up her town or something. So let's jump in. You guys want to be way ahead? Patreon link in front of me. Full unedited episodes of this and other shows I do. If you're seeing this on YouTube, I might already be into season 2. If not, comments down below. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.